Live from Atlanta, Georgia, it's the Zach Ballinger Show, where we help you find your direction through passion and purpose. My name is Zach Ballinger. I am your host. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are streaming via YouTube, so if you have any questions for us today, please enter those into the comment box. Also, you can always email the show beforehand, zach@zachballinger.com. We'll make sure to get to your questions to me or my guest as soon as they arrive. Without further ado, Monica, thank you so much for joining the show today.
Thank you, Zach. It's so nice to be here.
So we're going to jump right in. So what is your career? What's your title? What do you do job-wise?
So I'm the co-owner and vice president of Yampu Tours, and we plan trips for people, trips of a lifetime all around the world for families, couples, singles, small groups, whoever wants to go. We tailor the tour for them. I've taught many people to do what we do. And, it's great because we live our life traveling. So it's fun. It's been a fun job.
I bet. Sounds like it. Now, how many years have you been doing this?
23.
And what educations or certifications do you need to become a travel expert?
So the best education is learning to serve people, and then also having really good English and communication skills. And then so I would, you can go to school, college for anything and get out and do travel. You have to get a certification, which takes a year to get. And so we have a Yampu affiliate program where you can work for us for a year to get that affiliation. There's ASTA. You can check with ASTA. And we are a U.S. tour operator.
Wow, so awesome. People looking back at it, they're probably thinking, wow, a travel expert. First of all, I never knew you could do that as a career. And second of all, that sounds really fun. What do you love about your job?
Well, it's been 23 years of learning new things every single day. So I'm a travel expert because I've been all over the world doing this for 23 years, inspecting hotels, inspecting experiences, working with guides and drivers. And when you do the same thing over and over that many times, they say you take 10,000 hours to become an expert. I must have, 100,000 hours by this time. But what I love about the job is that I never know everything, and that every day I'm learning something new or things are changing. It's not a career that you learn it once and you're done. Things are constantly changing. People's tastes are constantly changing. The experiences are evolving as time goes on. For example, when I started, riding an elephant was something fun. And now it's like, don't ride an elephant. That's not appropriate. And we've learned these things throughout my career and working with different organizations that take care of animals, and seeing how they're cared for, and seeing the people that are doing it right and people who are doing it wrong, and learning. So that's just one example of how something has changed from when I started to where I am now.
It's so great. And then the vice versa. What's something someone should know about your career that's kind of difficult behind the scenes, or something that you may not like every day, but you still manage through it? Anything you can think of?
Yes. I have had dozens of people who wanted to work for me or did work for me that had traveled a lot. And traveling is fun. It's exciting. And planning travel is more about sitting at your desk all day. There are trillions of details in every single itinerary that we plan, and every tiny detail down to the spelling of every single name and every single digit in your ID has to be perfect. So you have to be extremely detail oriented, and you have to sit there and analyze and really do a lot of work sitting at your computer. And so that would be the negative. But everybody has to do that. I suppose you could be, doing something way more boring, sitting at your desk all day. And at least, when we go on trips, we are traveling and we're having fun and we're taking our family with us, and that's part of our job. So it's but it's not, the day-to-day is sometimes not as exciting as people who love travel think it is.
Now, do you
It's exciting, but it's sitting a lot.
Gotcha.
I get excited planning other people's itineraries because I'm living vicariously while I'm at my desk.
Makes complete sense. Now, do you actually go on any of these tours that you book with your guests, or
Yes, I go. I don't go with the guests. I go prior. So I'm in every city and rural area, checking out hotels, eco lodges, safari camps, so I can pick and choose what's perfect for each client. Out there trying the experiences, making sure everything is safe, inspecting, the cars and the drivers and everything before the clients go to the countries that we're selling. And then we come home and plan everything individually for each individual client. So one client I may put in the Belmont, and the other I might put into a small bed and breakfast, So, but I like to see them ahead of time, and I like to know that they're very good quality. So, for example, if a hotel doesn't treat one of my clients well, then we won't use that hotel anymore. So that experience that we're building, is really important, and it's great because we get to travel to all these destinations.
That's awesome. So how many countries have you been to? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know. It's probably more than 60. I haven't actually sat down and counted them, but yeah, I sell all the continents, Europe, Asia, South America, Central America, North America, India, the Himalayas, so we sell, and Africa. How could I forget Africa? That's my favorite. So yeah, I've been to, like, I don't know how many countries, most of them.
That's amazing.
Most of them the tourists go to.
So awesome. So, let's take you back to your childhood. We're going to jump in a time machine. We're going to go back to when you were in second, third, fourth, fifth grade, whatever it was. Did you have a dream career growing up?
My dream career growing up was to make ice cream.
Do you get to do that any now, or?
I've never done it. I don't think I've ever done. Well, my dad had an ice cream maker, but he always was in charge of it. I might have tried it once. It was way harder than it looked, but I was dreaming up all these wonderful flavors, and I had my bicycle and I would turn it upside down and pretend like it was an ice cream maker. So yeah, travel wasn't really on my radar when I was in third grade.
That's pretty cool, though. I've never heard of that career before, so we'll have to definitely interview an ice cream maker next time. Thanks for that suggestion. So what is a typical, what I encourage my audience to do is preceptorships or job shadowing. So let's talk about doing that virtually with you. So if someone was there and they got up in the morning, had coffee with you, and then followed you out of the office, what does your day typically look like?
So I spend my morning as soon as I wake up, having my coffee, doing all my social media, because it's very important for getting an audience and engaging with our clients and other travel professionals around the world. So I do that while I'm having my coffee, and then I try to turn it off for most of the working day because it's very distracting. Sometimes I'll go to Facebook to look for a photo, and I can get lost there for 20 minutes. And 20 minutes for a travel person is a lot because we have to really watch our time because there's so much more to do in a day than we can typically get done. Then also while I'm drinking my coffee, I read all the emails because I'm working with people all over the world in different time zones. So, as soon as I wake up, I may have to answer somebody in Africa or Asia before they leave, or perhaps they've already left, and I may have done this at 11 o'clock the night before I went to bed. So I'm looking at all the answers that they've given me and seeing if I have enough information to do all the work that I have in front of me. And I'm answering you as if I'm doing trips on my own. When my staff is doing it, it's more about delegating. But to plan trips on your own, it's a lot. And I do both, especially now that there's COVID, I'm taking on a lot more roles. So you have to make sure that you have all the information that you need to plan the trips. Then I may go and send a lot of emails out for information that I need. And then I start the building of the tours. So picking, hotels, picking experiences, really planning what I think that this individual client would like and their group. And maybe I have to have people coming from different cities. So I'm working with the airfare department to get all those different airfares settled. And then, so I'm doing that mostly in the morning. Lunchtime, again, you're checking emails. It's really good to bundle your work because emails can be very distracting, as social media is also distracting. So bundling means, I'm working on a project for an hour, then I check my emails, send emails, work on another project. Usually lunch is at my desk because, again, there's just too much work in a day, and I don't want to be here till 8 o'clock at night. So I'm eating my lunch at my desk. While I'm eating a meal at my desk, and this is really not good for you to eat at your desk, but I do it. While I'm doing that, I do things that feed my soul. So I might be looking at hotels because I love that, and I love it. Even if it's a hotel that I've been to several times, I like to go and see what the travelers who just went, because employees change, and an employee can make a huge difference. One employee that treats one client badly can the client can put some bad review on, and then my client sees it, and then they lose trust in me. So this is the kind of thing that I'm just kind of going over and over and over information while I'm having my lunch, but it's usually information that I like, and I love looking at hotels. I can look at hotels all day. And then I'm back to work, probably answering more emails, going back and forth and putting things together, putting documents together for the clients, making sure that I have everything they need to go on their trips, phone calls. We do a lot of conference calls with clients to get them ready for their trips. I like to go over all the documents and make sure they have their inoculations and they have their visas and they know what the sign's going to look like when they get at the airport. When they get off the plane, there's someone with a Yampu sign and their name on it. And I like to explain that. Some countries have some safety things you need to look out for. For example, Guatemala, some of the ATMs will steal your card information. So I talked to them about, hey, the guide is going to take you to an ATM as soon as you get there. Make sure it's a safe ATM and make sure that you get your money safely. So that kind of thing, the safety things. And then what to pack, we talk about that. How to be socially responsible while you're traveling. So we talk about that. If I have like a pack for a purpose, which is an organization that we get lists of things that people need, like in schools or hospitals or homes within the country, and we put it on to our clients, and they'll take the things on the list, and then the people of the country get something they need, and then the traveler has a free suitcase that they can go shopping and bring things home. So we might talk about that. So there's so many things to do in a day. And so we're really busy trying to make sure that I can get everything done in time to get home and make dinner for the family.
Honestly, that's probably one of the best, and I've done about 55 of these shows. That's probably one of the best descriptions of what you do during the day for a certain job. So I really appreciate your details behind that, because I think when somebody sees this as a surface level, a travel expert, everybody says, "Oh my God, I'd want to do that." Who wouldn't want to go to see safaris and, you know, but really you're just explaining how the sausage is made behind the scenes. And, you know, there's always downfalls to every career. So if you're not a very organized person or you don't like emails, this may not be a job for you. So that's what I really wanted to get out of that from what you said. And I appreciate it. Let's go back to something. I think you said you've been in this 27 years. Did I catch that right?
23.
23. I'm aging you. I apologize. 23 years. How did you find out, A, you could make this a career, and B, how did you transition into it? Because a travel expert sounds pretty cool, but you know, a lot of people probably out there listening never probably even heard of one. So walk me through that 23 years ago, how you made this decision.
Okay, well, I have to give my husband credit for this. But one thing that I would suggest is if you want to do, you should do something you love. Okay. So, for example, if you love surfing and you've spent money on a surfing class or at a surfing store, then maybe that's what you could do. You know, whatever you spent money on yourself in a passion that you're in could also be a business for you. And so my husband and I, when we met, I said, "Oh, I've been dying to go to Machu Picchu," and he's from Peru, but he had never been to Machu Picchu. So he said, "Okay, you know, come with me and we'll go." So we went. I was living in New York City at the time when I met him, and we fell in love very quickly. Decided to have a family, get married together, and he was trying to decide what his career was going to be. He was trained as a lawyer in England, but he hadn't passed the bar or done any of that yet. And living in New York and having dated in New York, I said to him, "Please don't become a lawyer. I'll never see you. That will be the end of our relationship, you know?" So we had a couple of ideas, and one of them was to package what we had done for Machu Picchu and sell it to clients, because there wasn't a lot of competition back then. And so we, you know, worked together to get everything that we needed to be able to package this. And then we just started a website. And so working with all the people in Peru, plus the clients in the United States, and putting all the trips together to Peru, all the different variations of trips that you can do in Peru, and really becoming an expert in one country for a year. And then we added another couple of countries the second year, and then more countries the third year. Probably by the fourth year, we were doing all of Central and South America. And then what we were finding is that our clients were coming back every year to us. They really were enjoying our trips. We're a tour company because we buy our services wholesale and resell it, as opposed to a travel agent. But we were young and we weren't doing the typical meaning of a tour. Our tours are really about experiences. They're exciting. They're different. They're handpicked for the clients, you know. So we were reinventing the word tour and really answering to the call of our clients. Our clients wanted to go on a different trip every year, so we had to add other continents. And so we added India, and then we added Asia and the Himalayas. And then we added Africa, which was really fun for me because I love that. And Europe, my husband grew up part of his time in Europe, so he had a really good knowledge of Europe. And Europe was one of the last places we added because it's easier to do on your own. And we were really specializing in more exotic destinations where people kind of needed a little more hand-holding. But now we have, you know, Europe. We spent the time during COVID adding all of Europe to our website, and Russia and the stands. Mongolia. So all the places that were not on the website are now on the website. Tahiti, Australia, New Zealand. So that's how we built the business.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. So I did want to get to some of these questions that came in through the comment section. I'll allow this question because I'm actually interested in this too, even though it's not career related. What is the top 3 travel destinations right now amongst the pandemic?
Okay, I think a safari right now is a wonderful idea. I had a colleague that just went to spend a month on safari. And her husband got permission to work because we're all working remotely right now. Why not do it on Safari? You have internet. So I think a safari is a great idea because you are naturally socially distanced. You're in tents, probably 200 yards apart from the next tent. And their properties are usually pretty small. They don't usually have more than 20 or 30 clients at a time. If you paid a little extra, you could get a private Jeep. Safari, Kenya is one of my favorites for safari because of the price experience kind of ratio. And then I would say Ecuador is really good. Ecuador has the Galapagos. And we had a client just come back from the Galapagos. You can look at our trip Trustpilot for Yampo Tours, and you'll see their experience there. They had a great time in the Galapagos. We can do a hacienda, which is a big old farm in South America, and they're usually really beautiful with lots of animals and horses. And so I think an estancia would be really fun to do right now, and would allow you to be outdoors, be socially distanced, and a nature lodge, like going into the cloud forest and staying in an eco lodge right now. So Ecuador would be number 2. And number 3 would be Costa Rica, because you can go to Costa Rica, you can be out on the beach, you can go surfing. I would not do any party destinations right now. People are going to Tulum and getting sick. They're going to these big beach parties in Mexico. I love Mexico, and you can get off the beaten path in Mexico too. It's really more about what you do than maybe where you go. But there are only about 20 countries that are available. Also, I know that Kenya and Ecuador and I think Costa Rica require you to have a negative COVID test to enter. So what does this mean? This means that when you're on the plane, ideally, theoretically, no one should have COVID because they've all tested negative within the last 72 hours. And so what I'm asking clients to do, or anyone that's traveling, is after you get your COVID test, to quarantine at home until you get on the plane. That's the personal responsibility that you need to make that work.
Gotcha. Thanks for explaining that. The next question I have is, what's the difference between a travel expert and a travel agent?
So the people that work for me are called travel advisors, and we are a tour company. And so we are working directly with the hotels and all the airlines, trains, the government departments that issue permits. We work directly with them, and we have wholesale rates. A travel agent can sell anything in the world, and they get a commission. So because we work with wholesale rates, we have to sell packages. We have to sell a whole complete tour, where you can go to a travel agent and book one thing. If that makes any sense.
Makes complete sense. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then once you've traveled with a good tour operator, it becomes something you just love because we really take all of the stress out of travel and leave you with just the fun, you know. So once and you can book with a tour operator, you can book a tour through your travel agent. So it doesn't have to be one or the other. If you have an agent that you're really loyal to, but you've liked what you've heard here from Yampu, you can ask your travel agent to book a Yampu tour.
Gotcha. Makes sense. And so, where can people, let's say somebody's been listening to this and either A, you piqued their interest in a career path, or maybe B, you stoked the fire of travel. You certainly have bent my ear, if you will, because I love to travel. So hearing all this kind of excites me again. So tell us about where people can find you, website, social medias, all that good stuff.
Sure. I am at yampu.com, YAM like Mary, P like Paul, U like umbrella.com. And also, there's a travel school page on our website if you want to get into the business. I have a course where I'm teaching people to plan travel. It's really exciting. And so you can go on that page to get that course. If you are interested in any of our destinations, all our destinations are on the website, and we have sample tours that we create on the website.
So great. And what we'll do, guys, is we'll link Monica's information in these videos. So when you guys see this, look into the comment section and we'll have everything labeled there. So you'll be able to follow her, get and connect with her on social media. If you want to look at her courses, please look at those. And if you want to book any trips, definitely take a look at that. This has been a fascinating interview. I really appreciate all the details. We know you're extremely busy. Just by you explaining your day, sounds like you're crunching every minute. So just thank you so much for coming on the show, giving back, and helping my audience truly find a career that they love.
Oh, I'm glad. And what a wonderful show you have.